edible garden, they grow a wide variety of grains and vegetables. These change through the season, so in the fall, we can see cabbage, watermelon, Swiss chard, bananas, oats, and more. If you come here in the spring, you could see different vegetables such as tomatoes, onions, and sweet potatoes. I wonder what we could make using some of these ingredients.
One of my favorite foods is salsa, so I'd love to get some juicy and fresh tomatoes and some chiles for heat too.
Yes, great idea.
I know 2 really great recipes for salsa. One is for fresh salsa and one is for stone ground salsa.
Let's try to follow the recipes and make 1 cup of each salsa. I also wonder which recipe uses more chiles and is more spicy.
I have the recipes right here. The recipe for stone ground salsa makes 1 cup, but the fresh salsa makes 2 cups.
I guess we'll have to figure out how to adapt the fresh salsa recipe to make 1 cup only, and then figure out which recipe uses more chiles for the same final amount of salsa. Okay, so I see both recipes require serrano chiles. The stone ground salsa recipe needs 2 serrano chilies for 1 cup of salsa. The fresh salsa recipe needs 40 grams of serrano chilies for 2 cups of salsa. We need to figure out how many chiles to use to make 1 cup of fresh salsa.
To figure this out, we need to use ratios. So if this fresh salsa recipe has a ratio of 40 grams of chiles for 2 cups, then it will require 20 grams of chiles for 1 cup. Let's use X to represent the grams of chiles we need. So X equals 40 divided by 2 times 1, which is 20 grams. You can see we set up a proportion to solve this problem. A proportion is when we set 2 ratios equal to each other, like we did here.
Okay, I get it. And now let's compare the amounts of chiles using ratios and proportions. The fresh salsa needs 20 grams of chiles for 1 cup. This can be compared to the stone ground salsa, which calls for 2 chiles for 1 cup. But how can I compare whole chiles to grams of chile?
Well, you can use a scale to weigh the chiles. When I put 2 serrano chiles on the scale, I see that they weigh 32 grams. Let's see how we can set these numbers up in a proportion to figure out how many chiles I need to use. We know that 2 chiles weigh 32 grams. This makes our first ratio. We want to find how many chiles weigh 20 grams. Let's call that unknown number X. This makes our second ratio. So it's best to set up a proportion like this, so that we are setting the 2 ratios equal to each other. We cross multiply, and voila! We get our answer of how many chiles we should use for our salsa. Guess what? To get 20 grams of chile, I only put about 1 1/4 chiles on the scale. This means that the stone ground salsa recipe uses more chile than our fresh salsa. It will definitely be spicier.
Awesome! I love spicy. Okay, now it's time to prepare both salsas. I wonder which one I will like better. Let's prepare all our ingredients for the recipes. What did you think of our 2 salsas? I like them both, but I liked our fresh salsa more.
I actually think I prefer the stone ground salsa, but I like them both too.
Isn't it great that we can enjoy these and so many other salsas, all thanks to the delicious chiles and tomatoes and other ingredients grown in gardens, just like the one here at the Arboretum? My mom will always have a cooked salsa at home. We use it every day. We add it to anything from eggs to tacos to quesadillas. You know, generally, we don't have chips and salsa as a snack. Salsa is something that we add to food to give it heat, and every family has their favorite recipe.